Moving onward to our next session on what are you attending to? I introduce our speaker, Mr. Nikhil Chadha, advisor at edForce, and Mr. Manish Rathod, Vice President of Enterprise Business at edForce. With a huge round of applause, we welcome Mr. Nikhil Chadha.
Am I audible? Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
That's good to see all of you. I'm thrilled to share this space with you today. How many of you use Gen AI tools and productivity tools in your day-to-day work? Thank you. How many of you feel a little overwhelmed or anxious that you're not able to keep up pace with the rapid development that's happening in Gen AI space? Nice. I am Manish, along with me, my partner Nikhil. Today we will explore how integrating mind management and Gen AI techniques will improve productivity in an organization. We will address not just the what and how, but the profound why behind these concepts. They say everything starts in the mind, so let's begin with mind management.
Thanks, Manish.
Nikhil.
Good morning. Let me take us all back to school, just for a minute. Good morning. Do you remember that? You see, that's the fun part about the mind. It is super programmable. I just said, let's go back to school, and we all knew what I'm talking about. 16 schools and 26 years later, good morning, ma'am, it still works. The reason I want to address this one element is, I would say most of us in this room, we get paid for the value we deliver, and that comes through this tool that we have. And quite often, we hear this narrative is Gen AI going to take over human skills, correct? It's evoking fear in some people, it's evoking possibilities in others. But the key principle about the mind is, what you pay attention to, it grows. And there is another school coming up with the thought that it's going to be the leader who knows and learns how to use Gen AI, who's going to make a difference which stands apart. And that's why what we're bringing to you today is a combination of both these elements. In parallel, there was something else happening as to what are the next leadership skills for the digital age, hybrid environment, so on and so forth. I would say it boils down to two things which are going to be true whether you're looking at Gen AI, whether you're looking at pure human skills. Focus is the new currency. Back in 90s, life was simpler. Today you have 10,000 notifications, all competing for that one currency, which is the attention and the focus you have. Focus brings clarity. The second skill is the ability to ask insightful questions. In my opinion, it's not as important to know the right answer, but it's more important to question the answers that we have. Talk about ChatGPT. Prompt engineering is all about the skill of knowing how, when, which order, and what question to prompt it with. So as a core skill, both of these are going to be super critical. Let me ask you a question. Is this what life looks like? We're everywhere but here. So for the next 20-30 minutes, I'm going to request you. I'm going to invite you to gift yourself being here, in the present, in the here and now. I'm going to skip through some elements which are very informational. We know this, we live this. Waking up at 2, checking your emails, seeing what's going on, feeling groggy when at work. Let's do a 30-second test. I'm going to time this, and I'm going to request you to just pay attention to where your mind is going to go in the next 30 seconds. And try that it goes nowhere, but it's exactly here. You okay? Trying it there? Okay. This half, if you want, try not to think of pink elephants. This half you can think about whatever you want. The time starts kind of now. If it helps not to focus, you can close your eyes. Okay, let me be kind and stop it right here. Did you think of pink elephants at all? Yes. That's like the red car you want to buy, it's everywhere on the street. It's a simple principle. The mind goes where chi goes. Chi stands for energy. We could program the mind to say what I'm going to pay attention to. Did you know that more than 47% is how much our mind wanders in the waking hours? This is a dated statistic. This was back when we had lesser notifications relatively. Every single day it increases. Essentially, that which fundamentally drives my life, I have no control, or at least no conscious control over it for at least half of my waking hours. And yet we are living, thinking beings. We've been hijacked, trust me on that. However, there has been work on mindfulness at work, and I'm going to give you some statistics, but quick sense. Everything you see at the top is what, as people professionals, we're being tasked to help deliver better. To create the environment in which the employee and the leaders are going to be able to do fantastic on this. And we work a lot with what they know. But how are they able to use what they know is the whole magic sauce around it. And how we create the environment in which they can do it is the second magic sauce, because your environment is going to be stronger than your willpower, and you can write that down. You want to get healthy, start hanging out with people who live healthy lives. Make those choices. You want to get rich, start sitting with people who talk about how do you get rich, and they're already there. Let's do this. It's an activity I would invite you to do. It's a fun one. I always love doing this. You have a notepad and a pen with you? So we're going to do one thing. You're going to write these two elements down in the following manner. First you will write, I am a great multitasker. Once you have finished writing this sentence, you will write from 1 to 20. Instructions clear? When I say start, please start, and whoever finishes, just raise your hand and say done. Please start. Done. Okay, we can stop. The first one did it in just about under 10 seconds. Okay, we're going to try it differently because we are fantastic multitaskers. We're going to do the same thing, and this time it will be easier simply because you've already done it once. So we're going to write the same thing, but in the following manner. When I say start, you start writing, but you'll do this. I 1, A 2, M 3. So I promised you I'll make it simpler. So here's the sentence again. Clear? Okay, start again. Seconds, still counting. Did you say yes? Okay, first one finished about 21. Thank you. What did we learn out of this? Anybody? May I offer an additional dimension to look at? That which we find new can feel unfamiliar and thereby in the beginning uncomfortable. kind of flips the equation. I'm going to give you one element to look at. Even if you do nothing else, do one thing as you go back. It's not on the slides. You do the same amount of work, but you want to feel less exhausted at the end of the day. Try and do less context switching as you plan your day, which means conversation after conversation, chunk them. If it's ideation, try and do all ideation work similarly. Then it's detail-oriented work, move into detail-oriented work chunks together. If you can do this, you'll be less mentally exhausted by the end of the day, because context switching takes energy and that drains us out. So here, when all I'm asking you to do is shift from alphabet to number, is the context change very fast that's doing what it's doing. And that difficulty here feels painful. So be nice to your mind and try and start chunking them together. The world will start changing for you. Now, therefore, I believe it's a myth. Neuroscience says it's a myth. Try and do lesser of it. There are a lot of downsides, but there are a couple of ones that I really want to talk about. It will come right over here. Do you know it rewires your brain? Which means it will start becoming difficult to focus more and more the more you allow it to do. It's a trainable tool that you have. Practice training it, you will avoid this and a lot of other. One other scary element, it physically shrinks the amount of grey matter in your mind. Honestly, you want to get scared, read Daniel Goleman's book called Focus. It's the only book, even more than Stephen King, that scared me. I really felt we are de-evolving as a species. And your devices are a fantastic tool to make you do that. Okay, I'm not going to stay here, but quick reason why you should consider this for yourself to begin with. I've given you indicative 20 areas of impact on the right side, which are going to help you at life. You become masters of life, your work is an element of it. Everything you see on the left of this are all the direct, tangible elements you can talk about at work, and it will make a difference. Now, this is not just me talking. I'm going to hold the slide for a few more seconds. You can take pictures. Accenture did this, 2014 to 16. Anyone from Accenture here by any chance? So, please go and check if they continued with this or not, but this was done outside of India. These are the measured benefits that the organization experienced, as reported by the participants to a third party, not a cooked up survey. Microsoft did it. I'm just going to give you 4 examples. AXA did it. They measured a lot more measures. This organization did it across multiple batches over a series of 6-month chunks. So they got consistent results around it. One rule to take away, choose what you attend to. Go to a restaurant with family or friends, please attend to each other, not to sharing Instagram reels sitting across the table. Now, it's not because you need to sit 20 minutes every day to train your mind through a meditative practice. Of course, that's going to make a world of a difference. But it's in the day-to-day small things, when we make these shifts, that you'll feel the real benefit. It's about building a mental system that's going to keep you healthier and really experience life much better. Anyone wants bad relationships in the room? No one, right? We know the pain of it. When your mind is distracted, when your mind is not optimally working, the first thing that drops is your emotional regulation. Imagine context switching all day, coming back, you have your spouse or your family members and they got something else going on, you're going to snap. And there are tons of practices, simple ones. The real fun of picking a practice is see how you can blend it into the regular way of your life. Don't try to make a switch change and you'll find it works. Now, I want to invite you to do a small activity with me, but it requires your participation. You guys game for it? Anyone who is not willing to move around for that? Nobody? Fantastic audience, thank you. Okay, I'm going to make this one quick. So just follow with me on momentum. I'm going to invite you to just find a partner and sit in front of them. So it's essentially two chairs in front of each other and you're just sitting facing each other. Can you quickly just do that? Easiest way is just turn your chairs around. One key, try not to have any furniture or anything else between you. So I'm going to come around and just help people quickly set up. And if somebody is struggling either with a partner not available or anything else, just raise your hand, I'll come to you. Okay, looking for a partner? Okay, could you just join up with her? Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so the trick is you have to face each other squarely. Perfect. Some of the players have got it bang on the first time. Makes my job so much easier. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Could I request both of you to just turn a little bit more? Just a little bit more facing each other squarely. Thank you. Yeah, right in front of each other. Anybody else looking for a partner? Okay, great. So secret, this is a test of how easily you follow instructions. No, it's not. I'm just giving you a mind. Okay, so here what we're going to do. We're going to start talking to each other. How do we talk and what do we talk about? You cannot talk about work. It's a rabbit hole. And at the end, you'll be exchanging resumes for a job change. We're not trying to do that. So work is out. Politics is out. If you are into IPL, such competitive sports, and you're in opposing teams, don't talk about it. Idea is anything which is going to draw you into a debate, we try to keep it out. So what do you talk about? Anything. Anything. The key is in how you do it. And that's something later Manish is also going to talk about, that all this stuff is great. But how do you implement all of this in the organization? So he's going to cover that in more detail. We're going to practice it here. Now what is the how of this conversation? Anyone in the pair can start. You have to speak in a short phrase or at best 2 short sentences. And I'm going to give you examples. So let's say, I was to begin in my pair and I say, there was so much traffic, I was badly planned, I barely made it in time today. Short and sweet. As you hear what your partner said, you understood the essence of what I said. So you're going to start by repeating some of the word or phrases of the core message. You got late and barely made it. I was able to get there well in time. So now, like a table tennis, switches again. You were able to make it in time. I always struggle with it. You always struggle with it, but the weather is so nice, right? It's okay to move on to something else. It doesn't need to make too much sense. The key is you understand what they said as the essence, you pick the key phrase or the word and you repeat it first, then you add yours. Clear so far? Now what's going to destroy this rhythm? You know, in table tennis the rally is going well, one gives a smash. What's a smash in this case? A question is a smash. Adding your own experience from history and going to detail is another smash. So we have to avoid these two. 1 or 2 short sentences, pick the essence and move on. Clear? As you're doing that, I'm going to play a game. I'm going to walk around and some pairs I'm going to say statue. And you go into a statue. You will tend to look at me, I get it, look back and become statue. I promise I'll try and unfreeze you first in the order in which I did it. Clear? Okay. Because time is short, we start now. Start. statue. Okay, stop. There are 5 statue pairs in the room. I'm sorry if I didn't make it to you. I'm short on time. So I'm going to start with the first one. Now it might be difficult for all of you to see what I'm seeing from where I'm standing, but I'm going to try and describe it as best as I can. So this was the first pair, so they hardly got any time. As you notice when I move to the others, you'll see how the change happens. So when I look at them, those around, do you see roughly the hands are exactly similarly clenched? The degree of space and width they're both taking is very similar. The angle from the vertical is not exactly symmetrical, and the feet are also not yet symmetrical. So little congruence has come. Not too much. They were the first ones, few seconds in. Thank you, unfreeze. Second pair was here. Okay, those of you can see. Both of them have the same arm on the table. The leaning from center is similar angle. Even from this, similar angle. Feet not yet there, but knees are roughly the same width apart. Little bit more congruence coming. I came to them second. Thank you, unfreeze. Did I freeze you? No, I didn't. There was a pair over here. Was it you guys? Yes. Okay, those over here. If you want to stand up and see, exact same verticals, hands exactly like this, same degree of leaning into each other, and if you notice, even the same amount of beautiful smile. No one's smiling more or less. Thank you, unfreeze. There was a pair, you were the last ones. Did I freeze you? No. It was here. Okay, people around, what do you see? Mirror images, twin sisters. Yes or no? Exact same way, knees on each other, hands clasped the same way, same angles, even in the vertical. Like, did you plan this? Thank you, unfreeze. The last pair. Another twist. Oh, you were the last ones. Second last. Again, twin sisters. Now, as I came here, I made a subtle eye contact, and that's when you actually just moved, right? Now, they had an energy connected field, and they were getting synchronized with each other. When I entered and made eye contact, I broke that field for her and got her to change. Which is why I checked you and said, go back, because I didn't intend to be part of it. But thank you, and please. Again. This is a combination of what we saw here and what we saw there in terms of posture. But the key point is, they're again so much in sync. Thank you. Your mind works in subconscious ways. And someone very famous as a psychologist said, unless you make the subconscious conscious, you will keep doing what you always do and you'll call it fate. Now what we're going to do is tell you as leaders, engineers of the environment, and people responsible to help others and organizations grow, how do you leverage elements from this and see how they are successfully used along with newer technologies. And Manish is going to come and help me do that. Key thing, what you focus on, the question you ask, are going to be 2 elements that are going to be relevant here as well.
Thank you, Nikhil. Please give it up for Nikhil. Fantastic session. I'm sure by now you're energized and you'll be able to pay more focus and listen to the talks attentively. In interest of time, I'll quickly move ahead. Can anyone tell me what am I speaking about here? What is the moment that I'm referring to?
ChatGPT.
Bang on. This clicker's not working. I'm sorry. Okay, on November 30th, 2022, Greg Brockman, one of the co-founders of OpenAI, dropped this tweet. This was the tipping point, ladies and gentlemen. Before this, AI systems existed, but in a very limited use for defense, research. But from November 30th, 2022, it just took off, it just exploded. We have literally applications and tools being developed literally every day. How long did Instagram take to reach 1 million subscribers? Raise of hands. Anyone? Instagram. I'm not talking about ChatGPT. Okay, it took them 75 days to reach 1 million subscribers. How long did TikTok take? Anyone? 30 days. ChatGPT? Anyone? Just 5 days. That was the impact that it had. We're living in very interesting times, ladies and gentlemen, where machines are learning and humans are hooked to devices. So considering we use devices for work or for entertainment, let us together explore how do we get off screen to do things that matter. There's a statistics by McKinsey and PricewaterhouseCoopers where McKinsey says 30% of the current work hours in US economy can be automated by 2030. I know this is the US context, but India is not far behind. PricewaterhouseCoopers say AI and robotics will contribute to 15 trillion in the global GDP. Any idea what is the current global GDP numbers? Where are we standing at currently? No one? We are at 100 trillion, just crossing about 100 trillion. So imagine AI and robotics contributing to nearly 12 to 15%, to the global GDP. So AI is not a future, it is the present. It is here to stay, it is changing the way we work. And that is how we're seeing a massive growth in AI related trainings. That's the demand that it's creating. It's clearly seen in the survey that was conducted by World Economic Forum, Gartner and Deloitte. They conducted this separately, but I have collated for this presentation. You can clearly see AI/ML standing out. AI/ML standing out. What is interesting to see is the behavior skills also, gaining a lot of demand, and this is the demand which is going to be there for the next 2 to 3 years. I'm going to take a pause and play a quick short video for you. Can you play the video? This is my instructor Hitesh speaking. I think there's an audio issue. Just give us a moment. Can you try fixing it, please? Things were working perfectly fine at 9 when we tested it.
Before I got into helping people change behaviors, I was in IT. This happened no matter what. I was the guy sweating over there. Damn, what just happened? So I can totally empathize with you right now.
So that just shows that we are all human, after all. Okay, I'm sorry for the audio. You can pause it. Can you tell me one unique thing about this video? Anyone? Sorry? I know, but just by looking at it.
So technology is great until it stops working.
Background is dull. Bang on, very close. This is not actually Hitesh, but he is. It is his avatar. It was created, believe me, within just 5 minutes. All you need is his photograph, his audio sample, and a small script. All you have to do is integrate and bam, your video is ready in 5 minutes. This obviously you can use it for your rapid content creation. It's a tool called HeyGen. There is also a free version and a paid version. Obviously the paid version has a lot more features integrated in it. So you can use this to create content rapidly. You can also use this where your leaders can address people who are in global locations, and your leader is not available, you can use that. So now we launched Pro AI. This was our baby which we launched last year, where we're combining Nikhil's insights on mind management and generative AI techniques to boost productivity. We are offering a bouquet of courses. Can you move on, please? We are offering a bouquet of courses where where we're talking about AI tools which takes care of enhancing the productivity. Also, we combine this with mind management techniques where the focus and the creativity of the employee improves. How do we do it across the organization? We obviously start with training in mind management and change management, followed by empowering our leaders. Why leaders first? Because once you have a buy-in from your leadership, it's easy to implement things in the organization. Then we move ahead and skill the entire organization, where we talk about prompt engineering, the entire Gen AI landscape. We talk about ethical usage of Gen AI tools. And the third phase, we upskill the specific business and technical teams. These are programs which are in depth, in detail. We talk about deep learning, we talk about TensorFlow, we talk about machine learning, we talk about security. So when you have this dual approach, you will see a massive improvement in the productivity of the employees. Any thoughts, Nikhil, on that? Any other?
Essentially, it's about asking the question, what all can this technology combined with human skills together create for us? And that's really the thought process with which we started building this in. And like Manish said, it has to be led by the leaders, because not just that they buy in, but they role model how this is going to be. Using it loosely, monkey see, monkey do, that's how we learn. And what we just did in the activity was seeing how in few seconds we start mimicking and learning and growing from that. Which is when anchoring it in the right way, systemically, will give you fantastic results at the end of the day.
I will run, in the interest of time, I will quickly run through one of the use cases. We implemented this with a services company, where we were asked to train about 310 freshers in BI tools, data and analytics. The challenge was we had to have them project ready in 60 days. So there were too many tools to skill them on, and they had a lot of assessments, assignments, within the entire 60 days. So if we had done it the manual, the conventional way, it would have taken about 80 to 100 days. What we did was we automated the entire assessments and the assignments that they do. That means when a participant finishes his lab exercises, his assignment, it is auto-evaluated. Even the code is captured by an algorithm where it is evaluated on its own, and the grading happens. So you do not need manual intervention.
Manish,
So we digitize.
can you just add to this a little bit?
Yeah.
See, as end consumers and people who are going to deliver this for a org, you're really concerned with that end. We get that. You would like to know that this is going in the right way, but you would leave it to the experts to say what that right way would be, and then we have a dialogue on that. And normally they say, those who can't do, they teach. We don't come from that. We're doers. So whether it is from a mind perspective, I experiment a lot with technology, biofeedback to say what enhances. When we look at how we bring it to your constraints, what can we do faster, what can we do in more ways, we're leveraging these technologies internally to do these elements better. Because you don't always get 6 months to plan a program. You might need it in 30 days. Or need it not this way but in a different way. How do we reconfigure it faster, leveraging the technologies, and that helps us get better at it also and give you more insights what else you could do with it. So which is why unless we've lived that journey, we can't guarantee you'll get that. But standing here we're saying we will help you do that because we're doing this day in day out now. That's the larger context I wanted to add to this. Manish, please continue.
Thank you, Nikhil. So what we've achieved typically is brought down the entire training life cycle by 25%. The highlight was, because of the mind management program that Nikhil did, the kids were superbly motivated, focused, and brought in all the creativity needed to finish the program and handle the stress as well. We also had cost reduction of 20% because we cut down the time and the manual effort needed to assess them. Quick talk about another use case for an automotive company. They are in Whitefield, one of the largest automotive company. We had to train about 165 freshers on cloud. Again, the challenge was they wanted unlimited lab usage for about 16 weeks. So, show of hands, what happens when you say unlimited usage for 16 weeks? Any guesses? What is a pain point here for a company? Sorry? Yes. Yes, people generally don't use the labs when you say, it's spread across 16 weeks. But thank you, Pratibha, for that. But we automated the entire thing where we could track the lab usage. And also, when you talk about cloud lab provided for 16 weeks means your cost is going to shoot up. There's a massive shoot up in the cost because these platforms, when you use their services, there's a lot of cost that is involved. So what we did was we automated the entire lab provisioning. We created an AI simulator for them where we brought down the cost. If you see, it's come down by literally 50%. So this is what we achieved with this company. edForce has partnerships with these OEMs where we not only train but also certify your participants. We also provide customized support in these Azure, AWS and GCP areas. In data science areas, we have practices internally where everything is ready. The content is ready, the SMEs are ready, the lab, everything is ready for you to consume. The same with domain-related trainings, stacks, and behavioral and leadership skills as well. So I want to end this talk with use AI responsibly is what I want to say. There's a lot that AI can offer to, you can leverage it to increase productivity, but there are issues with AI. You have piracy issues, you have ethical issues, you have issues of plagiarism and security, obviously. So please use it responsibly and to your advantage. Thank you. Any questions? Anything from your side, Nikhil?
I would just want to add one thing. Normally, typical leadership development program takes quite a few weeks and thought into it. Using AI, it takes you about 5 minutes to get the first workable, a good draft. But that's technology. That's when we bring in our understanding of the organization, the people, the culture, the context, and then we build upon it. And then what you come up with is fantastic. I use this example just to say that when we've looked at what we're doing, we're not just looking at your org context and culture and leaders, we're also looking at where your business needs to go, what your participants need, but as importantly, as people facilitating that, what can make your life easier, better, and more measurable, because they keep asking us that. I've been on that side. So if you have more questions, you want to know what else is possible, we're happy to hear use cases from you and see how best we can help. Thank you for being a lovely, engaged audience.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Nikhil Chadha and Mr. Manish Rathod, for engaging the audience. I request to please be on the dais. For the felicitation, I request Mr. Royden Gonzalez from Northern Trust Corporation to please join us on the dais.